Alright, welcome back everybody to the Tactics Ogre Reborn. We're on our way to Al-Mamusa, if I'm not mistaken. So I'd be kind of mad. It's sort of a you'll see. It's an important mission once we get there, but obviously nothing is, at least at this point in the game, is you know, simple. Everything's just sort of designed like, if I'm gonna move this direction, I'm gonna run into resistance, you know, from not the Wallsters, that's us, the Gagastani. So
Wallister, here, and in such numbers. How does His Eminence not see it? Troubled times such as these demand a staunch front line. You there! Hold the line or I'll kill you myself! We cannot let these rebels cross Lake Bordu! Forward!
well, their team's pretty well balanced, as you can see. Our team's going to be, I'm going to keep them relatively well balanced. That doesn't mean that I'm sort of a bigger fan of physical attackers over magic users, because magic users attack is almost exclusively based on how much MP they have, whereas you don't have to worry about MP with any physical users, because again, their stuff isn't linked to their MP. Only certain skills and finishers are linked to MP usage. So the trade-off, of course, is the fact that most of these mages have some combination of meditate and spell strike, which will help to increase their, well, meditate helps to increase their MP, so that, you know, they're hopefully attacking more often than not, instead of running into a situation where they're constantly out of MP and you're just sort of moving them around the map until their turn comes around again, so you can cast a spell of some sort, whether that be healing or what have you. You'll notice I recently recruited a new guy. I got him out of the, you know, bought him out of the recruitment shop in one of the towns, and I changed him into a beast tamer. So that is why I have a beast tamer. He's gonna sit in the back here because he's literally at level 1, so I can't send him anywhere near any of the frontline members because he'll probably get one-shotted. So that's why he's going to sort of sit in the back here, at least for right now. I may bring him up later on. I've given him punchy gauntlets, so his focus is going to be punching shit. What else? Yeah, with my front line like this, they shouldn't get close enough for a range person to attack without them putting themselves into serious danger. But that's going to be hard to say as well, because if one of the archers has a longbow and they really move up, they move far enough up or closest to the tamer, the whatever you call it, monster tamer, it's not really going to matter. They can easily one-shot him without much trouble. So a little bit of luck here as to whether or not he survives this battle or not. I hope he survives it, because otherwise I'll have to trade him off screen, which will take, you know, an extra battle or two. Whereas if he survives this, it'll help to get him closer to the what we call union level, or the max level for this portion of the game. I mean, my one big criticism so far about this game, and maybe it'll change later as things happen, is that Berserkers are sort of supposed to be like a glass cannon class, but they don't seem to move. They seem to be too slow for that task, you know? Like, kind of, you want to get a Berserker up into range, so he or she can start doing some big damage, with the obvious offset of them also being sort of squishy, so they're more likely to die because of that. But they tend to move slow like a knight in this game, and that means that they don't get into combat quite as fast as my other units, whether they be magic units or my archers or even my warriors that tend to seem to get in there faster, you know? I guess there are squishier units, non-magic. Well, I guess, I don't know if you would count a Ruin Fencer / Valkyrie as a squishy unit. I feel like they're kind of squishy. They're sort of like good at a lot of things, but they're very okay at everything else as well. So is their defense better than a mage? Yes. Is their resistance as good as a mage? No. Is their resistance better than, say, I don't know, maybe a warrior or a berserker? Probably yes. But you know, their defense is probably not as good though. So, because like I said, they do a little of everything and a lot of nothing. So, you know, everything's just done sort of mediocrely, is what I mean. Which is a good thing because it gives you lots of flexibility in that character. But again, they don't stand out as in any particularly strong case. You know. Which, like I said, I keep waffling back and forth on this because on the one hand, that is their strength, and on the other hand, that is also their weakness, you know? Their flexibility. Great, because that means they can be used right. I can use my upcoming Ruin Fencer to either throw a spell or deal direct damage or heal, you know? So you've got a number of different characters wrapped up in one, which is great. But I don't know. I like Denim. He swings big swords. You could also kind of play with Denim here a little bit. There are a number of different classes that really work really well for Denim. One of them is, I have him on Warrior right now, which is a pretty decent starting class to work with. You can also change him into a Valkyrie or a Ruin Fencer, which would make him more balanced, but would sort of remove the big damage potential that I think Denim is more set up for. But he's got the defense, so why not put him, you know, on the front line, and why make him squishier than he needs to be, as his role seems to fit better as a frontliner. But that's just my opinion. You run your Denim however you want. He's very flexible in this game, so you can run him pretty much any class you want. I would stay away from running him as a mage, though. It really doesn't benefit his character class. Sort of like trying to change Kashua into a
Warriors of Galgastan, lay down your weapons
physical user.
And you may yet live.
By the light! Ravnus, is that you?
We thought you'd be long dead by now.
I know this voice. How is it that you do not find yourself
They
dead,
apparently
Leon?
both think the other
You
should be
have rare
dead.
luck indeed. Let our swords meet. The cry of their steel is fitting lament for those you have butchered.
Which means that both of these guys are very, what's the word? Experienced in battle. They're veteran warriors, essentially. And it might be because of all their training, or all their battle experience, or some combination thereof. Or they're just built for battle, I don't know. You know? Obviously, it never hurts to practice, whether you are the best of the best of all time. You still need to practice if you want to be the best, or stay the best. Poison's so dangerous in this game. I think it's a little... I'm probably not. If you've actually played a lot of this game, you're probably very aware of poison. So every few turns, the poison will leech at your character, at whoever's poisoned. So it does not wait. Yeah. She's a little too squishy, and she keeps getting up to the front lines a little too much. Anyways, poison seems to affect, you'll see them every few, every couple of turns. So it doesn't require it to come necessarily back to their specific turn. Like you see there's an upcoming berserker female. I don't think she's going to be necessarily... I don't think the poison will proc on her turn. We'll see. But it'll proc like after so many actions, So whether you're a fast-moving character, slow-moving character... Yeah, see, it didn't proc on her turn, even though she is poisoned. But you'll notice at a certain point, both of them will take a deduction in health due to poison. So, it's not like you have to wait through a whole round of attacks, where, okay, if you're a fast character, you're going to take a lot of poison damage because your turn's going to come up a lot. But if you're a real slow character, because your turn doesn't come up as much, the poison won't affect you as much. So... Gotta do a lot of healing though, particularly if you're under leveled for this, which I find it hard to believe because I'm at the Union level right now, but they do like to push this sometimes in these later battles. Bam! Big damage. Counter! Counter! Stop doing that, it makes me mad. This is a situation where you wish you could get a Berserker in here and do big damage to both of them. So the Berserker trait has to pop as well for that to work. Hooray! I died. I think those finishing attacks are more effective the more MP you have. So if you're full MP, it's going to do more damage than, say, if you're at the bare minimum of like 40 or 50 or 60 to actually, you know, use the ability that is. Haha, poison got you, you dumbass. I know one of the obviously valid strategies is to take a like build a team around a particular element. So like pick an element like fire, air, water, and build your entire team around it so that you are not only causing the you know, the weakness to that specific element, but because everybody is that element, you get a bonus damage once you've got spell strike, or I think it's called adverse, like for instance air adverse or water adverse. So that's how you can kind of do big damage by, like I said, applying the adverse status to characters or enemies via your magic attacks, and then come in with like a physical user, whether that be an archer or you know, a direct damage dealer, and sort of finish them off for big damage. Almost dead. The answer is yes, I'm going to leave the green card on the field.
Oh, more men.
8 more men.
Oh.
Dead. Hooray! Okay, we'll cut the episode here. I'll do some fancy off-screen work, and we'll move into the next battle as we get closer to Balma Musa. Or is that right? I don't know.